Well, I got some encouragement today, so here I am. I've had an old sub come find me again. To 10, and, Monday night. So I just put a quick video out to celebrate. Anyway, what an amazing day it's been, and so I just want to. I thought I had this dream the other night. And it's just so out there. I thought, oh, why not? Why not just share it? You know. So I mean, there's no way that you could make this stuff up, and it's just so incredible just to see what a sense of humour our God has. So in the dream, I'll get straight into it. So this is on June the 4th, which they call King's birthday. The first one was about Leonard Cohen. You know, he's my old love, you know, the songwriter that sort of pulled me through my turbulent life, you know, who I don't think I would be here if it wasn't for his incredible music. But couldn't quite get it with him. He was sort of in my backyard at a table reading a book when I was giving a book to him, and we were very you know, attracted to each other, but sort of, I think, had kissed once, but wasn't time to do it yet, or something like that. And I gave him something to eat, and he said what a great cook I was. And I said, that's nothing, you know, just threw that together, it was rubbish, wait until I really start spoiling you. But anyway, the next one was, this is the one that's so amazing. I was in a group when someone said we should sing, so it was a little church group or something. I was looking forward to it because, you know, I just love to sing. But it was given to a fat woman, and she started to sing, and it was lovely. So, you know, I thought, what is that? Strange. But then, of course, it just hit me straight away. It's like, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And when I looked it up, it's just such a hard case. But before I do that, because I don't know if it's actually true, I saw on Alex that Obama is running on the ticket with Biden in 24. It's like, wow, you know, can anyone still not believe he is the man of lawlessness? What, going for 4 terms, you know, no birth certificate, you know, no nothing, no school records, no nothing, it's not even an American citizen, you know, and he's not the man of lawlessness, you know, running the, you know, unbelievable. Anyway, but today I saw something so I haven't really seen this guy, but he was celebrating in England to do with the Brexit vote. And as soon as I heard that, I remembered, you know, because right back at the beginning, when I had the first time I actually heard God speaking through the night, and I heard the words. The first night it was this is on the 19th of the 7th. Gosh, that could be about now. Oh no, this is the 6th. I've actually got it wrong. I've written the 6th there, so I quite often get my dates wrong. So who knows? It could have been the 6th or 7th, but you see I've changed that 6 to a 7. I suppose I could look up when the date happened. I remember hearing the word Shema all through the night, and a voice telling me, don't forget it. You know, so it's through, I had quite a few dreams, and that Shema was coming through all of them. The next day I looked it up, and it was the prayer that all good Jews speak twice a day. Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one Lord. Love the Lord with all your heart and all your soul and all your might. And also you'll remember Jesus said, and you know, he quoted it and said, and the second part, you know, is, and love your brother as yourself. And then the next night I heard or saw ARRC, okay, that's an anagram. So I actually saw these letters, ARRC. And so I looked that up, and there I found it was HQ, the HQ for Allied Rapid Response Corp. And I came across, I think it was like their Facebook, but yeah, the Facebook page it was, and but there were like postings from senior officers and who were you know, very strongly telling them that they have to go to these LGBTQ trainings, you know, that will be very favourably looked upon, but also there were these images, there were pictures of them, with very, because they were on the borders. I think there were borders, places like around, Russia, around Croatia, those sort of places, very poor houses. And there was one image there with army guy throwing a hand grenade into the house with the meme, house cleaning. So, way back then I didn't know what that meant. But then on the 23rd, and I've written here, today is the vote on Brexit. So I don't know, if you're in America, maybe you don't know, you guys don't sort of seem to realise there's, more than 52 states or 53, how many you got, there's other countries. But so Brexit, and since then I've had heaps and heaps of dreams about Rule Britannia and all that sort of thing. And at the moment I'm reading a 180-year-old book called The Scottish Kings, and it's talking about the actual story that many of you probably have seen. I haven't seen it. I don't go to the movies, but it was Mel Gibson, was it Braveheart? I think it was Braveheart, and it was about William Wallace, the man who fought King Edward's armies, to regain Scotland, and Scotland had, just sort of cowered down and taken and allowed this illegitimate king to reign, kind of what's happened over your way, but he had really just decimated the place, but that also does take me to okay, don't get off track. Right, so that's what I was going to say there, and right, I'll just carry on with the dream first, okay? So okay, so that all tied into with when the Queen gave permission for Pope Ratzinger to walk in Westminster Abbey for the first time in 500 years. He walked over the graves of the martyrs on the Day of Atonement, right? And that was when they had the first earthquake in Christchurch. Okay, you get it, Christchurch. In Christchurch, it happened within a week, either which way, and that was in 2010, I believe. I've got so many dates up there. And then the next one we had, because the Christchurch had two, that was the smaller one. And then early the next year, there was the one in Haiti. And do you remember the image there that all Haiti, all these churches were absolutely decimated? There was one very startling image of the church totally collapsed, but just a cross standing in front. And I believe that's where we are. That's what it's all about. And and then Christchurch had another really big one, and I believe that was, the judgment of the church, and so it was only a couple of years after that when Ratzinger stepped down, and you remember that when he did, lightning struck the Vatican twice, within the hour after he stepped down, and we've had the Jesuit ever since. So he also, I saw today, gave the same sort of lame excuse that Jacinda Ardern did. Basically he didn't have anything left in the tank, as if a pope needs anything in the tank. He can just lie in bed all day if he wants to. But anyway, I believe it's to do with the child stuff that's been going on worldwide, and I do believe it's to do with this Nasara. I won't say the other one, just Gizara. I put these words in the middle, and the white hat people who are saving the world, and that relates to this also. Okay, so we're talking about Brexit. What I saw today in Brexit was this. So, hi, Anne Kelly Rose, lovely to see you again. UK victory stuns, okay? And at the same time, it was also the first video that I ever did, and after I had...
have not maximised the Brexit opportunities and freedoms, having chosen, of course, to increase levels of immigration to new
So this is
record highs. I think that's absolutely balmy. But on the other hand, the idea that you get from people describing Germany as the new sick man, out that since the people describing the recession, people describing Germany as the new.
So Germany stayed in, of course, but England eventually left, and all the things that they thought would happen didn't happen. So the EU has really pretty much lost their power, just as Trump said, that they needed to. So he was right again. Anyway, so, so that's right back then. That was 2016, and that's seven years. So that another dream that I had that night after the ARRC was the 23rd. Today is the vote on Brexit. I dreamt a murderer was just about to start his rampage of blood, and that Dennis had bought a small red boat and was deciding whether it was too small. So I believe that's talking about the start of the tribulations, and that the red boat represents the boat of salvation. Red, is blood, but that could be Christ's blood. Those who are in that boat or that salvation, and it's going to be big. And remember what the Bible says, that all those that come out of the great tribulation. And so this is back in Daniel here. It says at the appointed time. This is Daniel 11 30. He shall turn back and give heed to those who forsake the holy covenant. Forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress. How, better can you describe it? While everybody is still expecting this temple in Israel, it's ridiculous. The whole thing that people have missed the point is that Britain, the whole British thing, Britain is the new Zion, as are you guys. All the lost tribes of Israel were scattered, even in Jesus' day, when he said to those JEWS's then, he says, I do not come to you, but to the lost 10 tribes of Israel, and the very same people that strung him up are the ones that have been ruling this planet ever since. Okay, so that's what I have to get into now, and it's very, very tough stuff, but not today. But you have got to wake up to the blood that was shed, and and that is what this whole tribulation is about disclosing the blood of the martyrs, all those that have died so wrongly. So it says, forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress, and shall take away the continual burnt offering, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolate. Okay, he was set up. There's no way he won anything, as we all know. He was set up there, and how ridiculous him and Dr. Jill looked walking down that day on the inauguration. You know it was just an absolute farce. He looked like he was shaking in his boots. And she was as well. He shall seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant, but the people who know their God shall stand firm and take action. So this is still talking about Obama. He flatters anyone and uses them. Anyone that violates the commandment, and that commandment, of course, or the covenant. The covenant with life, the whole LGBT. Thing, everything that he stood for. The only thing that man did was make a shrine out of, was it Stonewall? Some gay bar. That's about the limit of everything he did. And I just find it so, just so sad. That you have. I saw I'll find it here. The Friends, what's his, Gilbert, the guy Gilbert, who wrote the real dreams of my father, and the things that people will just do for money. Everybody knows that everybody knows that, that Big Mike's a Big Mike. But he's saying no, it's a it's not true, it's a rubbish, because he wants to talk about his new book naturally, and he believes that she is going to run. Well, that would actually come true. This makes some of my dreams come true, where she's been laying in this white bed, and you remember when I shouted and she fell out of the bed, and another time I saw her standing in the wings. They were getting, they were decking her up with jewels and all the rest of it. So I believe that's absolutely on the cards. But today, that's when I just saw Alex say that there's some kind, there's a chance that Biden and him are running, which of course is ridiculous. But it says he shall turn back and give heed to those who forsake the holy covenant. The holy covenant, of course, being the man and wife. Forces from him shall appear and profane the temple and fortress. What has happened? What is January 6th? Could the temple be more profaned than what they did? But the people, he shall seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant. But the people who know their God shall stand firm and take action. And those among the people who are wise shall make many understand, though they fall by sword and flame, by captivity and plunder for some days. When they fall, they shall receive a little help, and many shall join themselves to them with flattery. And some of those who are wise shall fall, to refine and to cleanse them and to make them white until the time of the end, for it is yet the time appointed. Okay, so at the end it says, many shall purify themselves and make themselves white and be refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. Well, I mean, isn't it incredible? Have you watched Comey? Out there saying what an absolute horror it would be to have Trump back. What he's going to do. He'll be on a witch hunt for these people. Oh, really? Not like you did to him, is it? Except, he's going to have reason, isn't he? My goodness. But it says here, the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. And this really just brings me to what has happened in New Zealand. Another dear freedom fighter has been taken down, and I believe by a Masonic plot, exactly as it happened last time with the Billy Tika Hika. Don't know how many of you those remember the videos I did, of this man who at first, he was a Seventh-day Adventist, and at first, I believed in him, supported him, but there was just something in me saying, no, there's something just not right here, and it just grew and grew and grew, and in the end I just realised, I thought, no, this guy is a con man. And but then I looked into this guy who was behind him, called Michael Stace, and he was the one running the whole show, and he was a super honcho Mason, and he ended up throwing them under the bus, and he was the one that ended up at the top table at Waitangi. But he set up this fake, this political party, so all it did was help Jacinda back into power again. But a guy called Vinnie Eastwood, in New Zealand we're so small, so you get somebody brave enough to stand like that, they were a real rarity. And Vinnie Eastwood, he'd been up there on his bloomin' soapbox, warning the world for, I think, probably like about 15 years. I think he was on Freedom America. He got onto that thing, so he ended up with a very large audience. And, but because of his pride, because Billy Tika Hika and him became friends, and he ended up, getting money from them, he was compromised, and and couldn't see the forest for the trees. And in the end, he's over with you guys, doing something over in America now, and who knows where Tika Hika is. It was just a very sad affair, and we have had the same thing, and it's on Alex now. It's a counterspin thing, and honestly, it's just sickening to see how blatantly people can just, deceive, they call themselves men of God. You just need to look at how they dress and all the clothes and the Teslas, the flash houses and all them, it's just disgusting. They've been doing this big freedom thing against the whole, Maxine lady, and but at the same time, having big, clinics where and Mr. Whippy vans going out, grabbing the children, offering $50 vouchers to people to come and bring their kids in, and it's like, oh my goodness, but then they're down organising this Blimmin' Freedom rally, against the mandates. It's just incredible, how people can be so deceitful, and this is exactly what it says: the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but those who are wise shall understand. And from the time that the continual burnt offering is taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up. Now, what could be the continual burnt offering? Does that stand for the democracy, the voting? The burnt offering. Is what what does that stand for you? It's like an offering is giving thanks, isn't it? You're giving thanks to God for something. So at the time of elections, that's the one time that the common people can have their voice. Their voice, heard, and they can, make something happen, And to me, if you think about what a burnt offering is, it's like when the widow brings her little pence in, her bit to say, I belong to this, and putting it up, that's the burnt offering, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up. There shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. And that it's 6 years, 3 days, 3 months, and was that 3 days or 13 days? Anyway, I worked it out the other day. I could be wrong. I'm hopeless with numbers, but it came out to around about 5th of November. So, yeah. Who knows what's going to happen, whether, something has got to happen. Surely something has got to happen. So this is it. This is here we have here. I actually found it. That was great. Who are the Obama's best friends? Marty Nesbitt and his wife. Where's the name? So this is and they are the parents of these children, as we know. You see if you can find one photo of Michelle pregnant, and this couple actually have a house next to the Obamas at Martha's Vineyard, and because they are the parents, and you just need to take one look at the children with the parents to know who their parents are. So it's very sad to see Christians who just won't believe what's in front of their face. And I see, Sister Barbara and Dan still going on, waiting for the Antichrist to come, and in Israel crying about the red heifer, another red heifer. There's always a red heifer every year or so. There's another perfect red heifer to fulfill the prophecy. It just makes me think, exactly as the Jews. The Jews are sitting there still waiting for the Messiah. Are the Christians also going to be the same? The evangelical Christians putting out matzah every year for 2,000 years, waiting for the Messiah. Okay. But yeah, so he's been and gone, and here, back to the fat lady, eh? You want the it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and here she is, and God has just got such a sense of humour, and who could have thought this up? It It ain't over or until the fat lady sings is a colloquialism which is often used as a proverb. It means that one should not presume to know the outcome of an event which is still in progress. More specifically, the phrase is used when the situation is or appears to be nearing its conclusion. It cautions against assuming that the current state of an event is irreversible and clearly determines how or when the event will end. The phrase is most commonly used in association with organised competitions, particularly sports. The phrase is generally understood to be a reference to opera sopranos who were traditionally amply contoured. The imagery of Wagner's opera cycle Der Ring, this, I won't even say there even though I'm not German, I should be able to, and its last part, Gottendummerung, is typically used in depictions accompanying uses of the phrase. The fat lady is thus Valkyrie Brunhild, who was traditionally presented as a very buxom lady. Yeah, that was her. Her farewell scene lasts almost 20 minutes and leads directly to the finale of the whole ring cycle, as Gottendummerung is about the end of the world, or at least the world of the Norse gods, in a very significant way. It is all over when the fat lady sings. So there's actually quite a bit more to it there, but I just thought, wow. And it's all about the ring, the special ring also, which I sort of had a dream about a ring about 2 days prior to that. But the ring is the circle, of course, the whole end of it, the end of this whole cycle that we're coming up to. So I won't go into what happened in New Zealand. It's just pretty sad. But the good thing is that I believe that because like 64,000 people have watched it, that it might set a whole lot of prisoners free. And this is what this whole tribulation about making us white is all about, is that Christians are going to give up their idolatry. They're going to give up all these false gods that they've believed in, and like me, walk into what it says in the book of Joel, that your young men shall dream dreams, your old men shall have visions, even your maidens will have dreams in those days. And that people, something just dropped out of my Bible, that people will actually start taking notice of them, and realise, there's no way that I could have made that up or known what it meant, but, and it's really, really deep, lots of stuff, the whole Norse god thing, everything, everything that's happening, that's taking us back. I will just show you, maybe I'll just show you just how utterly gross, No. You've seen them all over in the States. You've seen these super rich guys, and you just know that, Jesus looked nothing like that. And anyone that's putting their wealth in these riches and showing off these riches and thinking that's what it's about, they just haven't got it, have they? They haven't got it at all. Anyway, so I bless you all in Jesus' name, and I hope my fat lady gave you a little chuckle. It certainly gave me a chuckle when I realised that, our God is good. Blessings. Bye-bye.